Walk with me. Let me talk to you for a minute. I want to take you into my life, a traumatized childhood, a story of Sage Jr., painful past, perfect present, a story of Alvin Cole, a kid.
What up, gang? It's your boy Max, and we back on one of these dope ass reactions, bro. Man, you know, for the past few, I can say weeks now, or months, or whatever, I've been trying to understand the greatness of Machiavelli, bro. And I'm like, it's just something that just clicked. It just clicked, and I'm like, yo, I want to understand what really happened to this nigga, like what really went down. So today here I am surfing the internet to check out a video that I can react to, understanding what really went down. It's my first time checking out this one. The mysterious death of Tupac Shakur is like, it's like they got two parts to the shit. So this is part one. So, and we gonna be checking this one out together. Man, I just want to understand what went down. So without not much to do, if you just joining the family today, man, go ahead, do your boy a favor. Click that sub button. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Man, come on, let's rock and roll together. So without not much to do, I've had my own type of conspiracy theories and all kind of back and forth shit. But I'm like, let me try to understand what genuinely went down. And maybe I can reason about what actually happened and draw up my own conclusions. So I don't just want to be all of the time concluding on what I know, then trying to put the facts together and understanding what really went down. So without not much to do, man, let's get into this one. Ready? Let's go, bro. What you up to?
Speed Unsolved, we're covering the mysterious deaths of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, starting with Tupac. Right now we're on our way to Las Vegas and eventually Los Angeles to cover some of the spots where this all went down. As always, I'm Ryan, that's Brent, and we brought along our friend Deja because it felt wrong to cover Biggie and Tupac without bringing a true super fan.
I'm more of a Tupac fan, but, you know, Biggie's cool.
Irrelevant.
Anyway, you're irrelevant.
Anyway, let's get into it. On September 7th, 1996, at the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, Tupac Shakur attended a Mike Tyson boxing match. After the match, Tupac left with Suge Knight, who at the time was CEO of the West Coast record label, Death Row Records, the label that Tupac was signed to. However, on their way out, Tupac and his bodyguards got into a fight with Orlando Anderson in the lobby of the MGM casino.
In the lobby?
In the lobby of the MGM. Orlando Anderson was a member of the Compton-based Southside Crips gang. After the brawl, Suge Knight and Tupac left in Knight's car with Tupac's entourage following in cars behind them. While stopped at a traffic light at the intersection of Flamingo and Koval, a white Cadillac pulled up on the passenger side of Knight's car and shot out of the window, hitting Tupac four times and grazing...
On whose side of the car, bro? That doesn't make sense. On whose side of the car did he pull up like? Wait, I'm coming.
Side of Knight's car and shot out of the window, hitting Tupac 4 times and grazing Knight in the head with a bullet fragment. In 2014, 18 years after the shooting, Chris Carroll, a now retired Las Vegas Police Department sergeant, came forward to say he was first at the scene.
Why was he quiet for 18 years?
If I was a cop, I wouldn't necessarily say in a public way that I was the first person.
All right.
Own, Deja.
Shut up.
According to Carroll, when he opened the car door, Tupac fell out of the car.
Why does he have to wait 18 years? I mean, like, let's just call the spade the spade. You're a cop. Why do you have to wait 18 years before coming forward with information that was of such relevance? Maybe I might say he did not want to get killed, or I don't know. It's fishy as hell. Why would you come after 18 years? Like, was he afraid that it's a gang-related crime? So he's like, not want to say, oh, I was first at the scene. Maybe he might have seen somebody and then in the end he would get popped. It could be too, but man, 18 years is a really fucking hell long of a time, bro. Especially when it comes to like this nigga's death.
Shut up.
According to Carroll, when he opened the car door, Tupac fell out of the car covered in blood, and Carroll asked, quote, "Who shot you?" and states that Tupac took a breath to respond and said, quote, "Fuck you," before slipping into unconsciousness, making those...
Ooh, man, that's some G shit. I mean, it's not something to laugh at, but that's some G shit. I mean, even when he was dying, bro, he still could not snitch. This nigga was not a snitch, bro. I mean, he was not gonna call names to a cop, bro. He understand he wasn't gonna do that. So obviously that's why he responded the way he did, because he was not gonna say, like, so, who the fuck shot him? I don't even know. Like, this person shot me or back and forth. Nah, he wasn't gonna say that. So he just said, fuck you. I mean, even on his dying bed, he's still not a snitch. That's some real G shit, bro. I'm telling you.
To respond and said, quote, "Fuck you," before slipping into unconsciousness, making those Tupac's last words.
Since we're like right here, there's like no way.
Damn.
What time is it right now?
11:56.
Look how many cars right now at 11:56. On a Friday that's not nearly as busy as a Tyson fight.
There's no way. Like if I heard those gunshots, it would just be like.
You look where it was, right?
Yeah.
Tupac was taken to the University Medical Center and placed on life support in a medically induced coma. And on September 13th, 1996, 6 days after the shooting, Tupac died due to his injuries at the age of 25.
Damn.
25? I didn't realize
And he died so young, bro.
Yeah,
So
he died at
young.
25. Biggie Smalls died at 24.
I think that's what was so heartbreaking about it, is that there were these two young black males on the rise, and like they just got snatched up.
Yeah, that's where it happened. That's where he died. One strange fact is that the Las Vegas police never arrested anyone in connection with the murder. They also failed to follow up with Yaki Gaddafi, a member of Tupac's entourage who was there that evening, who claimed he could identify the assailant. However, Gaddafi was unfortunately murdered 2 months later on November 10th, 1990.
Fucking hell. Now I understand why the cop had to... Yo, now I understand why the police officer got to come after 18 years, bro. Because everybody was trying to cover up the shit. Nobody wanted to take the fall. So even this is Tupac's cousin, right? This is his cousin, right? I think a lot of you told me that this is his cousin. Like, he's even in the song called Hit 'Em Up. Like, yeah, Yaki Gaddafi. I mean, I'm learning, though. I'm learning. But the fact that this nigga said he knew who did the shooting and then he got killed 2 months after. And after he even said it, nobody tried to, like, get information out of him. It just means that nobody really cared, because... I mean, they don't really care about gang-related crimes and shit. They don't really care. They just feel like, oh, it's just them doing the same shit. And the fact that it was your man Machiavelli, you know how the government wanted to get rid of this guy so bad. So nobody even pretty much cared. Like, I mean, I understand. But that's some crazy ass shit. I mean, I cannot blame the police officer. Like, I mean, imagine he's seeing this. He listening to this on the news, or he's watching it, that somebody coming for, like, somebody want to come forward about the shooting that happened to Machiavelli, but then 2 months after, he been popped. So he literally not gonna come forward, bro. I can't blame him too.
However, Gaddafi was unfortunately murdered 2 months later on November 10th, 1996, before he could be interviewed.
Wow.
A Las Vegas
Damn.
homicide detective who oversaw the case claimed it got, quote, "the same treatment as any other homicide here," end quote.
What does that mean?
What do you mean by
Or
that?
anyone who died. We don't care if he was famous. We treat everyone the same.
All right, let's get to some of the main theories.
All right.
That's some reckless ass shit to say. I understand. Like, you don't want this nigga to get any special treatment when it comes to investigation or whatever back and forth. But that's some reckless ass shit to say. That's some reckless ass shit to say, bro. Reckless ass shit to say.
He was famous. We treat everyone the same.
All right, let's get to some of the main theories.
All right.
The first theory is from former LA Times journalist Chuck Phillips, who believes that Orlando Anderson, the Crips gang, and none other than Biggie Smalls are responsible for the murder. Chuck Phillips and the LA Times investigated the murder over the course of a year and came up with the following conclusions based on anonymous sources. Conclusion 1. Members of the Southside Crips were involved in the shooting as retaliation for Tupac's beating of Orlando Anderson. Conclusion 2. Orlando Anderson was the shooter. Conclusion 3. Biggie Smalls paid $1 million for the murder of Tupac and supplied the gun.
No! How would anyone know that?
Well, he did
Also, why would you supply the gun?
because he wanted it done with his gun, reportedly.
Why?
That's how things go down, I guess. I don't know.
I don't.
Speaking of Biggie, let's go over his potential motive for wanting Tupac dead. Biggie's year-long feud with Tupac was well known, and at the forefront of the East Coast-West Coast rap rivalry, including a reported verbal altercation and diss tracks. In one track titled Hit 'Em Up, Tupac claimed he had slept with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans.
How does that one go? Is that hit 'em up, hit 'em up?
Nah, bro, shut up.
I'm actually curious.
I think you should just never do that again.
No.
Strangely, according to Phillips, neither Biggie nor anyone connected to Biggie was questioned by the police.
Wow, okay.
As for Orlando Anderson, the believed shooter, he was shot to death in May 1998. Up until his death, Anderson denied responsibility for Tupac's death and was never charged.
Damn, so he got killed the next year, bro. I mean, you know Machiavelli has soldiers, bro. And then shit like that slipped out that you were responsible, bro. Just forget about it. Like, you gonna get popped. I mean, for real, like. But I don't know. Was he ready to shoot her? Because, okay, here's the thing. He and Machiavelli got into an altercation at the MGMR. But then later on, he took, like, Machiavelli and Suge got in the car to drive away. And this nigga got on another car, chased after them, and then shot Machiavelli. I don't understand. Something's not adding up, bro. It's not adding up.
As for Orlando Anderson, the believed shooter, he was shot to death in May 1998. Up until his death, Anderson denied responsibility for Tupac's death and was never charged. The second theory is from former LAPD detective Russell Poole, who believes that Suge Knight set up the murder. Despite Suge Knight also being hit in the shooting, Detective Poole believes Suge Knight had motives. Motive 1. Suge Knight apparently owed Tupac a lot of money, by some accounts $3 million, a theory corroborated by the fact that Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mother, sued Death Row and Knight in 1997 for mishandling funds and taking millions of dollars away from Tupac.
Damn.
Motive 2. Tupac intended to leave Death Row Records, Suge Knight's label. Tupac had recently fired his lawyer David Kenner, who in addition to being Suge Knight's lawyer, also wrote up Tupac's...
How is it always the case that once these guys want to leave, they get dead? Like the same case with Biggie, right? People said he wanted to leave Bad Boys record, and that's how he got killed. Now it's the same thing with Machiavelli here about he wanted to leave Death Row, and then boom, he got killed too. But yo, I cannot take, I cannot take away the fact that even this nigga SK is being brought up into this shit, because he got a long fucking ass rap sheet about violence and shit. I mean, low key, I might think he got hands in the shit though. I might think, because he stands to benefit. If Machiavelli died, already who Machiavelli was. If he died, he's the owner of Death Row, so obviously he stands to benefit a lot of money. I mean, that is some kind of a theory that I can work with. I can literally work with that one, like genuinely.
Fired his lawyer David Kenner, who in addition to being Suge Knight's lawyer, also wrote up Tupac's agreement with Death Row Records. And sure enough, a week after the firing, Suge Knight invited Tupac to the fateful boxing match. Here's some other things that don't look good for Suge Knight. Shortly after the brawl in the MGM lobby, Knight stopped to make a phone call while everyone else was fleeing the scene. Knight also insisted that Tupac ride with him in his car.
Fucking ads. Nah, bye-bye, please.
After the boxing match.
Was it on Tupac's side that they shot at the car, or was it on Suge Knight's side?
Yeah.
The side of the car that Tupac was on.
So how'd they know that they got Tupac's side?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So how would they know which side Tupac was on?
Yeah.
Unless somebody told them.
Right.
Orlando Anderson, the man who Tupac fought with at MGM, also contradicted his initial testimony, at first saying Knight was part of the MGM brawl, but then later saying that Knight was trying to break up the fight, stating, quote, "I seen him pulling people off of me," end quote. Many people believe this turnaround happened because of a payoff by Knight. Detective Poole also claims the bullet wound Knight says he received that night was never verified by the hospital, the police, or any other witnesses.
What?
So nobody knows if he got shot.
Exactly.
Whoa!
However,
Really? How did that get through?
However, this contradicts the 2014 report from former Las Vegas Police Sergeant Chris Carroll, who stated that Knight's head was, quote, gushing blood, and that he had, quote, clearly been hit in the head. Carroll also mentioned that Knight showed legitimate concern, and that, quote,
that shit sound fishy as hell, bro. I mean, he came after 18 years. Wanted to talk about your man SK being not involved. I mean, like, he had gushing blood coming from his head and shit. So this nigga got shot. Like, the bullet literally, like, I don't know if he got shot in the head or it was just tip off his head or shit, but he had blood and shit from his head. Like, he did not go to any hospital. He did not go to any hospital or whatever. he survived. There is no freaking history of this nigga going to a hospital trying to get, but he literally survived. But it's out there that he had a bullet to his head and all kind of shit and back and forth, without anybody to validate what he's saying. That's fishy as fuck, bro. And then this nigga come after 18 years to talk about this. 18 years just to talk about he saw gushing blood coming from SK's head, bro. That's crazy.
That Knight's head was, quote, gushing blood, and that he had, quote, clearly been hit in the head. Carroll also mentioned that Knight showed legitimate concern, and that, quote, it wasn't acting.
Why would he be like, it's not acting? That sounds like something that someone would pay you to say, like...
You don't trust that Chris Carroll was a licensed casting director and wouldn't notice bad acting from good acting?
Well, he said that later, though, so he must have heard the rumors that people thought it was Suge.
That could be also why he said this.
Quote, this is not the guy who had him killed. It's ridiculous.
How do you know?
Yeah, this makes way more sense than Biggie. This guy would only benefit from Tupac dying, because then he's going to be able to get more money, because then obviously his music will become immortalized now.
And he'll still own everything.
Right.
Here's my thing about it. I can't see someone putting themselves in the line of fire in a murder scenario. I just don't, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
The third theory is from LAPD detective Greg Kading, who believes that Sean Combs, aka
This is my theory. Yo,
Puff Daddy.
this is my fucking theory now. Let's see if my theory is pretty much, I don't know. Let's check it out. Let's see.
Detective Greg Kading, who believes that Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy or Puff Daddy, and CEO of the East Coast record label Bad Boy Records, orchestrated Tupac's death. Detective Kading got a Crips gang member named Keith Davis to confess on tape that P. Diddy paid him $1 million to carry out the murder of Tupac and Suge.
What the hell?
Tupac's death. Detective Kading got a Crips gang member named Keith Davis to confess on tape that P. Diddy paid him $1 million to carry out the murder of Tupac and Suge Knight. Keith Davis confessed that Orlando Anderson, who was Davis's nephew, was the one who pulled the trigger. And Davis also admits to being in the car when he recounts the night that Tupac was shot. Quote, Orlando rolled down the window and popped him. If they would have drove on my side, I would have popped them. End quote. Keith Davis claims the motive behind P. Diddy's hit was due to fear that Suge Knight would strike first, and that Tupac was only included in the hit because P. Diddy was pissed off about Tupac's song Hit 'Em Up. Furthermore, before Tupac was killed, he was shot multiple times on November 30th, 1990.
This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. I mean, he got on an interview shedding tears and talking about how he got nothing to do with Machiavelli's death and all that shit. Bro, that was bullshit. Alligator tears, bro. I'm telling you. Because first of all, if you listen to the interview, the last time I did the interview on here about Machiavelli talking about being shot, where he literally said he knew who shot him. I mean, a man always know who behind the type of hits and shit, especially being a gang like the way Machiavelli was. You want to tell me he got shot at, he came back, and he would literally not try to find out who tried to take him out? You gonna know. So that alone is a motive, bro. And he did not die, bro. So you should understand that the job wasn't finished yet. The job wasn't finished yet. So the nigga was gonna come back to still do the shit. Man, I understand all the people involved and all that shit coming about, bringing all those involved. But like, yeah, SK would have benefited a lot. But I might think that this could actually be, it could actually be both ways, bro. It could actually be both ways, like a serious plot to get these two niggas out the game, bro. Man, I don't know what to say, but I definitely believe that your man Diddy got something to do into this shit. I mean, you can hate me or not, but I don't care. I don't care, but he low key got something to do in the shit. This not just off the bat like Diddy has no hand in the shit. No. This nigga got shot first. You want to tell me that he would come back from the hospital, go through recovery and shit, come back and literally being a gang as he was with all the soldiers that Machiavelli had, he would not try to find out who wanted to put him in the ground. Nah, bro. You always want to find out who wanted to put you in the ground, bro. And the nigga said it. He was even on live television saying the shit. But he didn't want to go about coming to do the snitching shit and naming names and shit. But, and there you have it, bro. I don't know.
only included in the hit because P. Diddy was pissed off about Tupac's song Hit 'Em Up. Furthermore, before Tupac was killed, he was shot multiple times on November 30th, 1994 at Quad Recording Studios in New York City. Tupac...
Yeah, so he got pissed now. He said 5 shots couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled. So your man P. Diddy said, okay, boy, I'm coming.
Times on November 30th, 1994 at Quad Recording Studios in New York City. Tupac repeatedly stated that he suspected people associated with P. Diddy were the perpetrators, a suspicion corroborated by a 2011 confession from Dexter Isaac,
who
claimed he was hired by a P. Diddy associate to rob Tupac that night.
Whoa. This guy serving life in prison said this shit, bro. I mean, what does he have to gain, bro? He's already serving life in prison. Not like he's promised a release or something. Not like you're going to promise him the money that he's going to spend. He's serving life. So whatever somebody serving life says, bro, I genuinely think it's the truth.
Mr. Isaac, who claimed he was hired by a P. Diddy associate to rob Tupac that night. However, P. Diddy has denied involvement in the murder, stating, quote, "This story is pure fiction and completely ridiculous," end quote. And for what it's worth, Keith Davis was reportedly looking at 25 years to life due to unrelated activities if he didn't reveal his secrets.
If you're saying that someone paid you $1 million, like wouldn't there be some kind of receipt to say that?
You don't want a paper trail. Why would you establish a paper trail?
Why would you got a receipt?
All right.
Overruled.
Listen.
It's a gang type of shit. What is this girl talking about? Do you think I'm gonna give you $1 million, you're gonna give me a receipt? That's how it works. That's how it works on the street. Like, come on, like I'm giving you $1 million to pop this nigga. Like, okay, give me receipt, bro. That's not a freaking, how do you say, convenience store or something.
You don't want a paper trail. Why would you establish a paper trail?
Okay, all right.
Overruled.
Listen.
The next theory is that the Jewish Defense League...
What?
What Jewish Defense League?
Let him finish.
Okay.
Oh,
Jewish-
there are cops coming up.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
The next theory is that the Jewish Defense League, an extremist pro-Israel group, killed Tupac. The FBI had files of alleged death threats on Tupac from the Jewish Defense League, which has been classified as a terrorist group by the FBI. Other than that, there's really not much to see here.
I mean, they did offer threats.
They did offer
They're
threats.
they're the only people who said, "I'm gonna kill you."
You know what? You have a point.
The last theory I'm going to go over is pretty silly.
Aliens. Finally, I believe you. Yes, of course. Together, working at last.
Some believe that Tupac is in fact still alive and faked his own death. In 2015, some news outlets reported that a man named David Myers claimed he helped Tupac fake his death and that Suge Knight, among others, helped as well. However, this story seems to have originated from a fake news site, so take it with an enormous grain of salt. Some believe Tupac is alive and well in Cuba.
I want to believe that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because I think it means so much more for, like,
Humanity.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Everything would be better in the world if that were true.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems clear to me why it's unsolved. There's a lot of holes. There's a lot of eyewitness and a lot of people who aren't talking.
Who would have enough power to get all of these people to not say anything?
Who killed Tupac?
That'll do it for today. We're going to stay the night in Vegas, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow when we're going to drive to Los Angeles and discuss the death of Biggie Smalls. So, see you then.
Cheers.
I mean, like, you know, this shit is mysterious. I mean, in a whole lot of ways, bro. A lot of people feel like Machiavelli's not dead yet, but bro, that's just something for another day. That's something for another day. But the whole issue of the conspiracy and everything surrounding the death of this nigga, like I always said in some of my videos and shit, that you got your man P. Diddy was into some of them. I mean, if he's not fully, then low key to some extent, he was a part of some of this shit, bro. I mean, it's just clear. Like, we don't have to go back in circles and all that. But there you have it, bro. There you have it, man. At least I've, like, taken my time to understand what really went down and shit. I did not even know the homie who popped, like, Machiavelli. I just getting to know he's Orlando today. Yeah. Without not much to do, man, I'm out of here. If you just joining the family, bro, go ahead and hit the sub button. Rock and roll with your boy. Man, I'm trying to get to 3K. I mean, come on, like, just do your boy a favor and hit the sub button. I'm outie.